Hello again. I'd like to take a little bit more time to make a few more remarks about harmony. Um, as we come forward in time, especially in art music, harmony becomes more and more complex, as basically do all of the basic elements in music, up to a certain point. You'll read more about this in the chapters at the end of the text as we go from the end of the 19th century into the beginning of the 20th century. Art music becomes very, very complex, and harmony is one aspect of that. Now, I've spoken about the stacking up of thirds. Let's try that on piano. If we add another third, we have what's called a major seventh chord. One of the ways that harmony becomes more complex over time is that more and more thirds are stacked up on top of the basic triads that were existed before and that still are very popular in all of the various types of popular music nowadays. One of the reasons popular music is popular is because it's simple. It's easy for you to process and understand. So if I keep stacking up thirds, 1, 3, 5, 7. This is called a major seventh chord. It has that dissonant interval I played before, but with the presence of the other tones in between, now it has a much more mellow, easy to process sound. I can add a ninth on top, another third, a couple of chords in that jazz progression you listened to before, have 5 notes in them. That's pretty nice. One of the things that composers do is they get more and more involved in chromatic harmony. And what that means is changing pitches in the chords by half steps. So, if I take the seventh and lower it, just changing one of the pitches by half a step changes the character of the sound of this chord. If I take the ninth and raise it by half a step, this is what we call a sharp 9 chord. Pretty popular in rock music. It's got a nice, lively, aggressive sound to it. So, adding thirds on the top, producing harmonies with more notes in them, and moving around chord tones chromatically to create different moods is something that composers, not just of art music, jazz harmony, as you saw with the short progression you listened to already, also has become quite a bit more involved in certain genres, certain types of jazz. Just a little bit about the 2 pieces I would like you to listen to and comment on for me today. You'll see that the first is the Sacrificial Dance from the Rite of Spring by the Russian composer Igor Stravinsky. This piece of music was so radical that when it was first performed, there was a riot at the performance. Some of that had to do with the choreography, which in places was almost X-rated, but it was the intensity of the music in large part that had to do with the audience having such a strong reaction to this that the police actually had to be called to break up a riot at the end of the premiere or the first performance of this piece. Stravinsky uses rhythm and harmony as well as instrumentation to create very intense, relentlessly driving, as I say, music. And I want you to write a few remarks explaining to me how he does that. You'll read more about Stravinsky at the end of the term, as you will about Arnold Schoenberg. Schoenberg, a very important composer, not only because of his own work, but because of the influence his work and innovations he made in composing music had on 2 or 3 generations of composers that came after him. This piece is very short, just a little over 2 minutes in length. The video includes all 5 movements of these 5 pieces for orchestra. I'm just interested in your thoughts about the very first one. You're welcome to listen to the whole thing. The entire piece is only about 7 minutes long. As I mentioned, it's in various movements. The subject matter, he is writing music that is programmatic in depicting premonitions, fears or hopes about something to happen in the future. So it's very abstract in terms of what he is trying to present with the music. Harmony, rhythm, texture, instrumentation, those elements are things that he uses to a great extent to create the character of this music. And I want to get your thoughts about that. So remember, there are subheadings under the basic elements in the description guide, which you can refer to. And that should help you. Listen to it a couple of times, take a few notes. That should help you generate some good commentary about this music for me. So spend a little time with the Stravinsky as well. Watch the choreography once if you like, but do focus on the music. These advances in harmony are put in the service of creating a much wider range of emotional content that the music can use, and more ways for composers to create tension and release to draw you forward through their creations. I hope you enjoy this music. Thank you.